Blessings and welcome. Thank you for joining me on Ideas for Effortless Cooking. Now, today we will be making caramel popcorn. Yes, I said popcorn because we'll be infusing it with cannabis butter. The recipe calls for 1 cup of butter, and we want to keep the sensibility of microdosing. I find that microdosing is a wonderful thing because it allows you to have a relationship with whatever you're introducing into your system, and being that it's cannabis, we want to take it slow. It's best to take it slow. Anything in great evolution is in pace. So let's keep that same sensibility with the recipe, and that's why we're infusing it with 1/2 cup of cannabis oil. Now, it is up to you if you'd like to use CBD oil, if you have it available, a CBD butter, or a THC butter if you have it available. But that is dependent upon what effect you want from your treat. Always, I want to say that it's best to consume safely. Like that's why I say we do our microdosing. So today we're using 15% THC flower from a local upstate New York hemp farm. The plant is called Lifter, and like I said, we're only going to be using 1/2 cup of butter to keep it light. If you were using THC, essentially with a 15% at 3.5 milligrams, that would give you, if your calculations are correct, 525 milligrams of CBD or THC, depending upon which you used and at what percentage. But like I said, we're using 15% of Lifter flower, and it's CBD. Absolutely delicious, has a citrusy taste to it, and I personally enjoy it myself. I'm more of a cannabis THC consumer, but this flower really has a hold on me because it has a sweet sense to it, and it reminds me of indicas that I've had that are full body. So again, let me just reiterate the recipe. It's 1 cup of butter, which I said we'll be making 1/2 cup of cannabis butter and 1/2 cup of unsalted butter. And we're combining that as I did already in my pan. And so we let that warm up because I wanted that process to run a little faster. But essentially, this whole process, it should be ready in about 1 hour and 30 minutes. Make sure that you have your oven preheated because you will be taking the caramel that we're going to put over the popcorn and mixing that and then putting that in the oven to kind of give it its own moment and stirring that about every 15 minutes. So going back, again, this is 1 cup of butter that we're putting into this recipe, 2 cups of brown sugar, a 1/2 cup of stuck honey. Now, I use stuck honey in the substitute of corn syrup because I just don't agree with corn syrup. I feel that it has its qualities when it comes to candies and it gives it a crisp, but you can still make that available if you know what you're doing with the honey and the amount to use. So this recipe calls for 1/2 cup of honey or cornstarch. I use stuck honey, so today we'll be using 1/2 cup of CBD honey, as well as the Lifter. Now, you might ask, okay, well, isn't that a double infusion? Yeah, that is a double infusion. But I wanted to give you a perspective of how much in the flower itself. So essentially, if we had 525 milligrams, depending upon if we used THC or CBD, half of that would be 262.5 milligrams. So I hope that helps you with a perspective of microdosing and how you can take 525 milligrams and cut that in half by literally, if it's in a cup, cutting that cup in half and then diluting that with unsalted butter or clarified butter or whatever butter is your flavor. Maybe you want to put some herb butter in your cannabis combination. So, not to stray off too far, our butter is at a wonderful melt point right now, so to which I'm going to combine the brown sugar, the salt, and the stuck honey all at once and let that do its thing for about 4 minutes without touching it. So here we go, guys. We have our brown sugar. Make sure that's nice and compact. We have our salt. Give it a little. Excellent. Now, I have a secret ingredient, but I want to keep it generic today, and just give you guys the basic of this wonderful recipe, because we are infusing that, and I want you to kind of get that solid. So we're not going to talk about upping the ante on the profile today of flavor itself, but we have a nice sensible flavor because we used 5 quarts of popcorn, which is half a cup. Essentially. So you have your popcorn right here. It's best to keep it in a large mixing bowl, because that gives you the opportunity to really get this caramel worked into the popcorn well enough. Now, again, like I said, the vanilla and the baking soda are going to go in afterwards, after we've already turned off the fire and we're working with the hot caramelized brown sugar, butter, and salt that have brought themselves together, as well as the stuck honey. So again, we're taking half a cup and we're just putting that right into the mixture, right? A little bit of a pro tip: it's best to use a spatula that is a silicone spatula, because one, it just gets in the nooks and crannies a lot better, and two, the stickiness that comes from caramelizing sugar, you want to kind of have a flow. So essentially, you want to turn your heat up to about a medium in your saucepan. I hope you guys can see that well enough. And I really encourage you guys to try that. Try this at home. Just take your time. And what are we missing? So I told you guys about the butter. I told you guys about the brown sugar, about the stuck honey. And our stuck honey, by the way, I intentionally low dose infused this. So literally a droplet like this is not even a milligram, you know, not even close to a milligram. A teaspoon of this, and the reason why I did that is because I do like to substitute the corn syrup, and I don't want to overdose the popcorn. I just want it to kind of complement, and the stuck honey has really been a wonderful thing to combine with cannabis, with CBD, THC, and CBN that I've been lightly working with. So like I said, for 4 minutes, we're going to keep this on a medium heat. We're going to let that do its thing, and then we're going to get into action on the baking soda and the vanilla. But during this time, let's just have a light discussion about popcorn, because we didn't get to that point yet. I just wanted to get you guys in the understanding of the caramelization business that needs to go on over here. We're using 5 quarts of popcorn for this recipe to keep it solid. And if you don't know what 5 quarts of popcorn is, that's half a cup of unpopped kernels. So you take half a cup of unpopped kernels and pop those. You would want to take about a teaspoon and a half of oil. Now you can use a canola oil. If you want to get really funky with it, you can use a cannabis infused oil. You know, sky's the limit when it comes to popcorn and combining fats and flavors, because you can really create something wonderful from something simple. But we'll keep it basic, and we use our sea salt that's been finely crushed, and put that into our recipe. We're using 2 tablespoons of sea salt, and I pause on that because, you know, some like it hot, some like it not, and you want to make this where everybody can kind of, like, you know, join in. I know that we are in a social distance right now, but we have to keep the sensibility of collectiveness. So, you know, with that said, I'm just gonna take a little bite of this caramel popcorn because it's absolutely delicious. And this popcorn I made the other day is infused with THC. It's insane. This is one of my staple recipes. I really wish you guys can taste this right now. My mouth is melting right now just from all the flavors. It's like my taste buds want to run to that taste. So again, we're at about a minute and a half on the caramel popcorn. I mean, on the caramel. I apologize. I'm just really enjoying speaking to you guys and kind of just letting you guys know that this is a really simple recipe. Let's talk about microdosing for a second. Again, I'll reiterate. This was a simple 3.5 uh, grams of lifter. Now we used a hemp CBD flower, and that was at 15%. I've used 18%, I've used higher, but just to give you an understanding, we won't dive deep in it today, but there's a basic mathematics to finding out how much milligrams you have in your dish, in your infusion. So whether that's the butter that you're going to infuse, you would do that to the contrast of percentage of grams that you have to the percentage of what molecule you're searching for, whether it's THC or CBD. But we'll dive deep another day on that. Right now, we're at our like 2.5 minute. I'm not gonna go against the grain. I really want to mix in there because I'm just so hands-on with things all the time. I guess we'll give a little plug to our wonderful sponsors and collaborative energies that have come together and really made this happen. I truly appreciate you guys. And please make sure that you're following us and make sure that you're supporting us, because the only way that we can make things realer than where they're at, realer than what's in our head and what we brought to the forefront, is by bringing it back and volleying that energy back and forth to each other. So let's get in that habit, especially in this time right now. We're at such a distance that we need to get close, you understand? So thank you for tuning in. Thank you to the people that are participating in this. Again, I celebrate you guys. We're almost there. We're almost done. And I would say that this would be the most tedious part of, no, because then mixing would be rather tedious. But this would be the part where if you have something rolled, you should roll it and smoke it right now. It'd be your best time because you have about 4 minutes. You should have it rolled already. Sit down and just give it a little and watch. Think about how delicious it's going to taste. If you are into the wonderful vibrations of silence, go into your meditative space. Set a little timer. Nothing too deep, but always enjoy yourself. Always stay in a great space when you're creating, because that's going to provide the energy that is needed for people to really connect with what you're doing. Whether it's a line on a paper or whether it's making some caramel popcorn on a webcam. But thank you. Again, I truly appreciate you guys. Let me give you a spliff tip. THC degrades at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. So low and slow is really best. Here at Supreme Green Cuisine, we make stuck honey, and we take our time with that honey. Like I said, anything in a beautiful blossom needs time for it to do such. And you see how wonderful this is? We kept it at its right heat, and you see how that works with the blossoming of things? We kept it at its right heat where it needed to be, and the smell of it is right. Everything on it is perfect, and it's right at the point where it's like, hey, come on, be a part of our lives. So now we're just going to take this and we're going to stir this together, right? Really beautifully. We ain't harming and hurting nobody. I mean, this is wonderful, guys. I wish you could really smell this. This is insane. Again, we made some THC infused potcorn the other day, so I really wanted to kind of go with the the CBD heads. There are our CBD family. We can't separate each other, guys. We gotta all we're all in the same family. So those that like CBD, pull up with the THC guys. Maybe we could find a common ground to where we can have a wonderful site. I like mixing CBD and THC. I hope there's you guys out there that enjoy that bouquet. There's smokable herbs, but again, we'll get on that another day. So right now, as you can see, I'm going to bring this a bit closer for you guys off the heat, because I want you guys to see color. I want you guys to see definition and profile, so you get an understanding. Because all it really takes is you knowing that you could do this, and I know that you can do this. So all you need to do is know we here. So if you can see that wonderful brown, but there's a nice bubbling going on. These are caramelized bubbles. It's that brown sugar just partying in the butter right now. Whew, really enjoying this, guys. Let's see where we at. We're gonna do a little bit more heat because I just want to kind of solidify it a bit more, and then we're gonna start with our vanilla and our baking soda. Now, just to give you a rundown of the stirring process, it's every 15 minutes for about an hour. When you have your oven preheated and you're ready to take it to your pan and make it happen. Where's my pan? So you want to have a tray like this. You can use your paper if you'd like, your wrap, but it's really not necessary. You can kind of throw the caramel right on there with the popcorn mixture, and it'll be just fine inside the oven because you're coming in and you're remixing it every single 15 minutes for about an hour and giving it its love. Me personally, I've done it for about 45 minutes because I believe the honey kind of gives it a different effect, and it's worked out for the better. As you can see, let me just give you a perspective. I don't know if you guys can hear this, but you ready for this? I know you heard that. My ears heard that. God, the opportunity you have to microdose with this. Look, I know I got some friends that like to turn up, eat a lot of cannabis, smoke a lot of cannabis. You can do that with the popcorn. You can do that with microdosing. You're just more responsible within doing that. It's not like, oh, let me take this, get smacked, and get there. It's like, oh, let me turn up the volume, turn up the volume. No, I'm not gonna do it. But yeah, so we there. After we caramelize this popcorn, we're gonna whip it and throw it right on the pan, and that goes in the oven. And then our end result is this. So we have a wonderful, because you gotta be careful with your heat with sugar, because there's a thin line between having some nice caramelization or some burnt, and we want to keep it caramel, baby. Now I'm gonna place this down real easy. Turn off my heat. Thank you, heat. Push that to the side. Put that down like that. Now, here we go, guys. What we're gonna do first is we're gonna take our half a teaspoon of baking soda and we're gonna powder it across and coat the top of our caramel. Right? Then we're gonna start to stir that in. Once we have a nice consistent stir, where we're gonna get our reaction from is our vanilla. So you want to take the vanilla and kind of drizzle it across the entire thing and then whip it in. Now, as you can see, guys, it started to react. Now it started to bring the caramel into its actual form. Beautiful bouquet. We're just going to whip that for a second until we get the baking soda well whipped with the vanilla and it has its opportunity to react. I got a little bit of a floss move on it, so I'll throw mine back on. But you know, by this time, using your heat well enough in a medium. Wow, this is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. My popcorn's gonna be so happy. So yeah, it's ready, guys. We're taking this and we're gonna take our popcorn and place it right on top. And throw that right on top, right? And we're gonna fold it over. Fold it over nicely. Ooh. Well, those are gone. So take your time, like I said before. Take your time with making this mixture so you can coat your popcorn well enough, because I'm over here just whipping like a psycho. But it's, like I said, a really easy recipe, guys. You want to just be happy when you're doing this. Hey, Sherrod. How you doing? And this is my friend Sherrod. He's in the frame. Come in the frame. What's up, guys? Hey, when you need to get that workout right, you need to hit this man up. So, You know, guys, like I said, we're coating our popcorn, and we're gonna throw it into the oven, and it's done. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. I truly appreciate everyone that has contributed to supporting. Come on now. Come on now. Here, try some of this.
Ooh.
Try some of the finished product.
You don't gotta tell me twice.
Come on.
Hello.
Look. He's like, boom, boom, boom. Putting down the wise chips and grabbing some of that Supreme Green Cuisine. You already know. So look, beautifully coated. And we don't have to worry too much because what the oven is going to do is going to bake off all the rest of that extra little wetness and make it a beautiful, hard, crunchy, delicious popcorn. I really love my family, man. I appreciate them so much. Came down, pulled up. You know, they helped me set up, and you know, that's all you really need is harmony. That's what cooking is. That's what any great thing is. I don't know if you guys enjoy soups, but some of the best soups is harmonious, from the amount of salt to the amount of sugar, spice, and its collectiveness. And what it does for you and what it does to you is the most important part, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take this wonderful caramel popcorn that we made. And this right here is 24 servings. It's 256 milligrams. Excuse me, 262 milligrams. 262 milligrams. I apologize. And it's amazing what you can do when you believe in yourself. I appreciate you guys. Enjoy Stuck Honey. Enjoy yourselves at all times. Please stay safe. I love you guys. Bless. Flex! Because we're going to put that in the oven.